And welcome everybody to the Phantom Zone. It is I, General Zod, welcoming you guys to a great night of intellectual talk and tomfoolery, shenanigans, whatever you want to call it. Welcome all. Uh, we have a good show lined up tonight. A lot of things to talk about. I've taken a break from doing some late nights because of the kid being sick and just generally everybody being sick these days. But some great news broke, and I felt like I had to put my own satirical spin on everything. So, welcome to all you watching. Thank you very much. So far, what's up, George, BD Lucas, and Jay, aka the artist formerly known as Senate. Nice to see you guys here tonight. I'm gonna get into some great stuff. The late night crew is ironically running late. What's up, Stig? Good to see you, buddy. I like the change in the logo, man. That is just bitching. Love it right there. Good morning and your day off. Awesome. So I'm glad that we can sit here and talk on your day off about a few things, a couple of interesting topics that I have for tonight. I'm going to be talking about some trailers. I'm going to be talking about the Oscars. God, I never thought I would be talking about the Oscars, but yet here I am because if you guys know the channel and you guys know me and Stevie J, shout out to Stevie J Reviews, we are huge Joker shills. Not even going to lie. Huge fan of the Joker. One of the best movies probably of last year, hands down. I'd only put probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the same league as that movie. And yeah, people are salty. The media comes out in force. They've been attacking this movie nonstop. And now with an Oscar nod, they're back on their whole Joker is garbage trip. And I'm going to get into some articles about that because it's just hilarious. And I love to see the saltiness that's going on these days. It is great, funny times. But my first topic that I had, because I'm just going to dive right into this, and feel free to ask questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Yes, Stig, I agree. The Joker was a 9 out of 10, hands down. But the first topic I have for you guys is I was perusing and the new Morbius trailer happened to drop. Now, I don't like to play trailers here because I've done this previously, and either the music or the images get copywritten, and Sony are a bunch of douchebags and copyright strike everything. But you guys can all go and check it out, of course, after the show. But I checked out this new Morbius trailer, and my God, uh, they are just doing a bang up job. Like, I was like, wow. I mean, I was excited for Venom, and that trailer did not look as good as this. This trailer here looked 20 times better. And of course, the co host is here. What's up, PB?
You're just in here talking to yourself.
Yeah, you know how I do. I don't, I just like have a bond with the audience right here, shooting the shit with
No,
them
no, no,
for a bit.
no. I meant yourself. No, I didn't say the audience.
No, we got Stig in here. We got George, BD Lucas, and it's morning for him. He took time out to listen to us, PB. Like,
Well, that's
he's,
excellent. I love it when George is here.
I know. I am just like, I feel like so just awesome that we got people who are taking time out of their mornings to hear us bullshit. It's just great. So,
Oh, I see Stig gave the Joker the same rating that I gave it.
oh yeah, I believe me and Stevie were the biggest Joker shills. We're sitting at like this movie is the art of perfection.
Yeah, you gave it an
Uh,
11 out of 10.
yeah, when we were rating it, like yeah, I went beyond a 10. But
I mean, with the way it sits at the Oscars, you weren't too far off.
You know what, PB? We're gonna get into that, but I wanted to knock out the little shit that we can do really quickly. Sony has had hit or misses with the Spider-Man franchise. Into the
I just
Spider-Verse.
can I do a point of personal privilege real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I read in the Bridge Crew before I clicked on the link to get in here that Justin Proper told me to hurry the fuck up. So I just assumed that when I got here, you weren't going to be alone. But sure as shit, you're alone. So it looked like somebody else should also hurry the F up. That's all.
And also, by the way, if you're here in the chat, go ahead and retweet us out. I know people will get notifications and whatnot, but we're just gonna keep on rolling. We got 5
What's up,
people watching.
Tommy?
Of course, our excellent mod Tommy, giving him much love. And by the way, go check out Tommy's channel. He does stuff with lightsabers. Like I'm training the kids
Like
and
real stuff with lightsabers.
yeah, like I'm training them with like plastic swords and saying it's lightsabers. Tommy's like real deal, got the glow in the dark. It's just amazing. And he's a good cat. He's always here, dropping the links. So Curtis, what's up? Good to see you. So we're gonna get into this first trailer, and it was the Morbius trailer. And I gotta tell you, I think Jared Leto may have found his role finally in this Marvel or in this cinematic universe he wants to be a part of. Because when I seen this trailer and they were playing Beethoven's uh, concerto, and it was just amazing. And the way he's playing the character now, I haven't seen the movie, but just going off of what I saw, the way he was playing the character is how I imagined him in the animated series. And for once, Sony actually got the backstory right. Like, this is the closest backstory I've seen to a character um, in a very long time. If you guys don't know, the story of Morbius is that he suffers from a rare muscle degenerative disease, and it cripples him most of his life. He goes in search of a cure, and he uses vampire bats' blood as and this serum as part of the cure, and literally becomes Morbius, the
Yeah, that'll cure the
living
shit out of
vampire.
just about any ailment you got. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll take a little vampire blood.
And the thing I like about Morbius's character was it took the vampire myth into a different direction. He's not actually a vampire per se. I mean, he drinks blood, but it's more of he uses these things on the bottom of his hands that drain the blood out of people. And some people he's
Well, then it's a
actually
good
kept
thing that
alive.
I didn't watch the trailer. I
Yeah.
had time to watch the Black Widow trailer.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna talk about that too because of course that's on everybody's hyped about that. But um,
I mean, I
PB,
can talk about Morbius in general, Jared Leto in general, because I know who Jared Leto is, and I know the character of Morbius from watching the cartoon because he had a rather substantial role. So it wouldn't surprise me that Jared Leto from what was the movie? Dallas Buyers Club when he was
yep,
unbelievably skinny? It doesn't
yep.
surprise me that you can take that person and turn him into a vampire.
Dude, they have him. Uh, they have him look exactly like he did in Dallas Buyers Club, and I loved it because this man's supposed to be sickly. He's on crutches and things like that, and you got to get that feeling he's willing to make a risk for this cure to feel better. And just that trailer to me, and I know you're probably going to fight me on this because I love Scarlett Johansson too, but I gotta say that this trailer actually was more captivating to me than Marvel trailer. Look, when a Marvel trailer comes out, we know it's going to look good. We know it's going to highlight some stuff. We know it's going to get you jazzed up. But Sony's had a hit or miss record. And I am so glad to see them put out something that looks genuinely compelling.
Well, my question is, what was the last movie or last Marvel movie Sony did?
I'd have to say Far From Home, right? Far From Home
Okay,
was
that
collaborated
right.
with.
That's the last. Okay, is this Morbius movie supposed to be connected to the Venom verse?
Ah, great question. Here's a little curveball they throw in, and this got me geeked out. So first off, they throw in Easter eggs towards the end of the trailer. He's like walking through the street, and it says Spider-Man's a murderer, and it shows Spider-Man on the wall with the graffiti painted in white that says murderer. So that's from Far From Home, because remember at the
Right.
end, and he got outed, and then at the end, and guess who freaking comes up with a cameo? Michael Keaton, and he has the same suit he had on at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, and he like steps out of I don't know where, because it was like a quick shot, and he goes,
Like he's
"Hello,
wearing the
doctor."
Vulture costume?
No, he's just wearing like the prison getup or whatever. Maybe he escaped. I'm
Oh,
not.
okay, okay.
And he's like, "Hello, doctor, we got to talk." And I was like, "What?" And so I'm like, "Is he going to be in the movie? Is he at the
He was
end of the
talking
movie?"
to Morbius?
Mm-hmm. Like
Okay.
Morbius was coming out of somewhere, and then he just bumps into Michael Keaton, like Michael Keaton's character as the Vulture, and I'm like, dude, like, are they trying to connect this to Spider-Man? Because if Spider-Man's only going to be around for Marvel for one more movie, it would make logical sense if they want to throw Tom Holland in it to start connecting these movies, so that way, if he makes a shift, it won't be strange to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man in their verse. So
Well, I mean, they always have been trying to connect anything that Sony's doing to the MCU at this point. Like, they'll take any little bit that they can get. They were doing the same thing with Venom, if I can remember right. People are like, well, is it in the universe? Is it not? Do they talk about Spider Man? Don't they? Well, they make a reference to him, but you're not supposed to know which Spider Man they're talking about. Are they talking about Tobey Maguire's Spider Man? Are they talking about Tom Holland's Spider Man? And I was like, well, they keep it intentionally vague so that they can determine later which one they want to be connected to, which I would say, from a marketing perspective, is rather smart.
yeah, I got to give it to Sony. One thing they seem to be doing well, and it's a thing that DC didn't do, is they seem to be building their connected universe intentionally slow and starting out with these villains. And I think a villain connected universe could work if you build it right. And I got to say that they have a good study platform that they started. Venom was a success. Whether you like or hate the movie, it was successful in the box office, and I quite thoroughly enjoyed it. I think Morbius is going to be successful, and I think it's going to be successful because it's got a very dark tone, and it seems like they're sticking with that. So, I mean, I think if they keep theirs separate and they keep this darker, more gritty tone to their movies, and like separate themselves from the MCU's lighthearted bullshit that they got going on over there, I think that they could
Ouch.
make a killing. Yeah, I was just saying, like tone difference. When you look at
I got
Marvel,
no
yeah,
problem with tone difference. But yeah, it's going to be a little weird if you want to take Morbius, which is possibly the darkest character you can have, and you want to connect him to quite possibly the most lighthearted character, which is Tom
yep.
Holland Spider-Man in the MCU. Like, that's not going to work out, but I could see how you could easily, staying in Sony Pictures, why wouldn't you connect it to Venom? Because they're both dark. You're telling me you don't want to see a fight between Morbius and Venom?
Oh, I so want to see a fight. Like, and in the trailers, they showcased some of his powers. He like did like an X-Men Nightcrawler thing where he was teleporting from like place to place in the room, and then like came down, and then he had this thing. Like they're playing the powers exactly like the cartoon PB. Like if you saw it, you'd be giddy. It was like the '90s cartoon. He's like he goes, I can sense things much better like a bat. And he does this like vibration thing, and it's like sonar, like a bat has. They're playing more towards that, I feel, rather than going the full vampire. Like, I think they're going to get to it because the last shot is him looking like Morbius, and it looks like straight out of the fucking comics. Like, his face tilts up. You can see it. I have it in the picture. And that
Okay.
is like right directly from the comic books. And I love it. I love it. Of course, Perp is trolling me saying trash. Perp, I
So
disagree.
Stig says Morbius needs to be rated R. PG-13 would ruin it. Do we know what it's going to be rated, or do they not say yet?
They said it's not rated yet, so
Not rated yet. Do we know what they're leaning towards?
it's very dark. It's darker than Venom was. I mean,
Well, I
I
mean,
would.
have they said, like, when Venom was coming out, we were pretty confident the entire time it was going to be rated R.
Yeah, they haven't come out one way or the other. I think if they want to connect it to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they're probably going to go the PG-13 route, but who knows? I mean, Sony could do an R. I don't know why they don't do an R, because they're not connected to Marvel. They want to be, but they're not. They're not connected to Marvel. Kevin looks at them like the little like stepchild,
Well, I
and
mean,
he
we
just
know
beats
that they
every
can
once in
do
a
an
while.
R. They just did an R. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
well, I
no,
mean, they didn't. Warner Brothers did an R,
they
but
are. Yeah.
we know that it works.
I mean, it does. And yes, Stig, I agree. Vampire story, you need blood. You can't pull a Venom like they did where like he bites off someone's head and they do a quick cut. I think this movie is going to benefit. If he's going to be drinking people's blood, I want to see like blood coming off of his face and like looking all crazy. You know, I don't want them to do the quick cuts, because that was my problem in Venom. Like every time he did something, they cut away and just imply the violence. And I hate that.
Well, we'll
Like,
see if Sony is smart and decides to take a page out of the Marvel playbook and steal what's hot. Like, Joker just made $1 billion being rated R. Go all the way with this and be the second movie to be rated R based on a comic book property to make $1 billion. Why not? Go for it.
I mean, and here's the thing. Jared Leto in certain roles can sell that role. Morbius may not be well known to people, but I think is well known enough. And you threw Michael Keaton in there, you can attract an audience to
You
be
got
like,
Michael Keaton in there. Holy shit.
you can't tell me someone doesn't see a flash of Michael Keaton, or they don't make an extended trailer or second trailer with him prominently somewhere in that trailer. People aren't going to go, wait, Michael Keaton's in this? I mean, think about Spider-Man Homecoming. You can't tell me a lot of those people didn't go and see it because they're like, Michael Keaton playing a bad
Dude,
guy, the Vulture.
they could play it either direction. You could have people that haven't been paying attention, don't know what's going on, and they could be like, "Wait a second, why is Batman in prison and talking to a vampire?"
Like, yeah.
I mean, somebody who's not paying attention would be like, "Wait, he's Batman." When it comes to a comic book movie, they're not going to know. We're talking about the ultimate casual person out here that's like, "Oh, let's see what movie's coming out." Those type of people. But then the ones that are halfway paying attention will be like, "Oh, Michael Keaton. He was the Vulture. That's cool. I wonder how that's connected, where it sits in the story, where it sits in the universe. I don't know where it's supposed to take place in the timeline." Like, I assume if they don't have a rating for it, they definitely didn't say where it takes place in the timeline.
No, I'm gonna guess it's implied somewhere around the end of Homecoming, because I watched a video and the white suit he's wearing in the end of the trailer is the exact same one he was wearing in prison at the end of
Okay.
Spider-Man Homecoming. So I'm
Right, but that
guessing
means that it takes place before the blip.
so yeah, it takes place before the blip, and it's somewhere in the timeline of when they were arrested till I'm guessing he escapes. I'm guessing their ultimate goal is to set up for the Sinister Six, because you have
Hopefully.
Vulture. They introduced Mysterio, who I feel is not dead, and all you got left is Rhino, and you had Scorpion already in, and Shocker. So they got the lineup right there. And I'm thinking they want to try to get them all in line. And hey, Geeky Candy, good to see you here.
Hello, Candace.
So I mean, I'm thinking they've got the good stepping stone, and I really am curious to see if they can pull it off a lot better than other attempts we've seen from other sources. This isn't a DC thing where they're trying to compete. It feels like they're taking their time and building their own universe.
Yeah, what they were supposed to be doing was building their Venom verse.
And
That's what I was calling it.
And I don't know about you, but I feel like this isn't rushed. I feel like they wanted to see how Venom did. It did $1 billion and some change, and now they're like,
no, it didn't. Venom did not make $1 billion. It made
came
like
close. It was
800 million.
No, it was in the 900s.
No, it wasn't. I bet you if you look it up right now on Google, the number that it's going to say at the top is 848.
And good day, Mike.
Good day. Good day.
Holy shit.
I didn't
he
tell
lives.
You this, yeah, General Zod went over to Australia. I fought off the dingoes, and I brought back.
Did you put out any fire?
No, I lit them on fire. I
bitch.
apologize for that. I got a little bit crazy. I lost my temper. And I yelled, "Kal-El!"
Yeah, he came over here and he held off the dingoes and put out bushfires for about 20 minutes, half an hour. That's what
well, at least you got some use out of them.
I was like, Stevie! Once I knew it was fine, I was like, all right, I'm gonna fuck off now.
Nice. What are we talking about?
So, we're talking about the new Morbius trailer. Have you checked it out?
Well, I have, actually. I have.
Ooh.
Can I just say I was super amped. I thought when you compare this to Venom's trailer to this, they're like two different classes.
Oh yeah.
So
I thought this
Stevie, can you give us your general thoughts about it?
I can. Well, someone who knows nothing about Morbius at all, the character, I thought the trailer was really good. I think this suits Jared Leto a lot better than Joker. Because, I mean, obviously his Joker was trash, but this looks really interesting. I like the way that it started off, showing he's on crutches and all that. He's got a disease and everything. And then the way that he obviously transforms into what he becomes it looked really interesting to me. I liked the it's a bit dark as well. There was a bit of darkness there, which I liked. And I was thinking when I was watching it, like the Black Widow trailer was pretty cool. But for like people like me who don't know who Morbius is, we already know who Black Widow is. So it's kind of like the trailer kicks off and there's action because we already know the character and what she's about. But with Morbius, there seems to be a bit more of a transformation, obviously. So I guess that was one thing that interested me a bit more, was that, we're actually getting to see the beginning of the character and then where he's ending up. So, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good trailer.
Now, knowing nothing about Morbius, but seeing Michael Keaton at the end of that, what did your thoughts jump to right away?
Well, seeing bats and Michael Keaton makes me always think of Batman. So,
see, that was fair, PB. We just made that point. We said everyone's gonna be like, "How the fuck did Batman get here?"
Yep.
And literally, there's bats in it.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh, okay. Cool. Batman's back.
That's what I said. Yeah, exactly. The super casual person will be like, What's Batman doing here?
Thomas Connolly, welcome. Good to have you. This is great. We have a good we got a good turnout. And don't worry, I hear the chat lighting up talking about Black Widow. We're gonna get to that because honestly, you guys are probably gonna hate me. Don't start unsubscribing and giving me thumbs downs. But I've got some strong feelings about this, and I'll get to it when we get to that trailer.
I have
But
strong feelings about Scarlett Johansson too, but that's
oh
for a
no,
different
no,
day.
I have those feelings too, but that's for one day me and Lethal Lightning's porn discussion. But anyways,
Jesus.
yeah, so I mean, I think that Sony does one thing smart is their marketing. Like, they knew Venom was a mess, so who did they get? They got Tom Hardy. And Tom Hardy, let's be real, without Tom Hardy, that movie is a complete failure on multiple levels. But you put Tom Hardy in there and he just elevated that to where you're like holy shit. Just, props to him. Now I want to see Tom Hardy and Jared Leto on screen together fighting. How fucking awesome would that be? Like, there's so many different possibilities. I mean,
No. See, you're talking about this wrong. It's not. You don't want to see Tom Hardy fight Jared Leto. You want to see Tom Hardy fight a vampire.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, Venom versus the living vampire. I mean, how cool of a fight would that be? And then now you're throwing Carnage in the mix because it's confirmed for Venom 2. I mean, there's so much potential is what I see in the franchise. What up, Perp?
Year.
Finally, some diversity.
I know, we had too many white people.
We have an Australian, so he's technically like something, I guess, right?
Yeah, I had some kind of diversity, surely.
I
Diversity in
guess.
accent.
Damn, yo, Stevie hasn't been on this shit for a minute, yo. I feel we almost got the old OG crew here. We almost got them.
Did I tell you my heroics for getting Stevie on here? I went to Australia. I put out some brush fires, and then I fought some dingoes. And I saved him and brought him back here. I mean, I was only there for a couple of minutes, but I like to think I, played a part in his release.
I heard Superman got in your way.
Oh, fuck Kal-El. So,
Superman only got in the way between his head and his shoulders.
So, Perp, what is your take on this new Morbius trailer?
I mean, I don't really, it's whatever. It's cool. I watched it a couple times. I'm like, yeah. Like, when we get to the Black Widow thing, I want to say something controversial that might be groundbreaking.
No. You don't get to do that because I said I was going to say something controversial, and then you're going to listen to me now.
I'm gonna say it right now. Then I'm gonna say it right now that Black Widow is going to be a 6 out of 10 movie.
I agree. I had that very same thought.
Wow,
No,
so controversial to say I agree.
You know what? You stole my thunder. And of course, people don't give a shit about what I have to say because I'm not diverse enough. So
they're here for the guest. Geeky Candy is here for the guest, and everybody else in the chat are here for the guest.
So welcome, Soul Assassin. So let's
6 out of 10 though. 6 out of 10. That's not really that controversial, is it? That just means it's kind of an average movie.
Because to an MCU fan, that's like a F.
No. I gave Captain Marvel a 4.
That's too high.
Oh, that's way too high, man. I think I gave it a 2.
It still has Samuel L. Jackson in it.
That shit's at least like a 2, maybe a 1.5.
But PB, Samuel L. Jackson gets his eye scratched out by a cat. What the?
It was a
that's not.
flurkin.
Oh, flirkin' It's bullshit. That's what it was.
It was a cat. I know. That's what brings it down to a 4.
That wasn't Nick Fury. That was Nick mildly angry. It wasn't Nick Fury.
All right, so
That was Nick agitated.
We're already on the subject. Let's talk about this Black Widow trailer. Look, folks, if this
For the redhead.
I'm just gonna say this, and it's been said by tons of people. If this would have came out when Black Widow was relevant and not fucking dead, then I can get behind being hyped. But this just feels like Marvel realized everyone was pissed off because they killed off one of my favorite characters besides Captain America, and now they want to make it up to us by throwing a bone and giving us a movie we should have had in the timeline before Captain Whammon. Why does Brie Larson get the special, glorious treatment? And keep in mind, this is the same person who starred in the fucking Unicorn Store. Why does this person get preferential treatment and get her own fucking movie before Black Widow? And then you motherfuckers are saying, we're going to kill your favorite character, but don't worry, we're going to give you this movie. And then we're going to fucking cancel Hawkeye's show. Fuck you.
It's because she has an Oscar. It's because she has an Oscar. That's why.
Facts.
No, it's because I didn't realize the popularity of Black Widow until 5 movies in, and then they went, "Oh shit, we should have made that movie." But they already had Captain Marvel planned, and they're like, "We're going to slot Captain Marvel between Infinity War and Endgame. We're going to make a whole lot of money off it." And
because I guarantee, if Captain Marvel came out like the release date that Black Widow was going to get, it'd be a whole different story. People would just completely. It would have made a billion.
Different story.
It would probably made like 700 mil tops.
You're looking at probably what Ant-Man and Wasp did, which, keep in mind, I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was far better of a movie than Captain Marvel. And yet, even that gets slotted at a weird place. And it's just like, I'm looking at this slate, and there's nothing like mind-blowing. And then what do you got coming next? Thor, Love and Thunder. Can't fucking wait for Thor to get his balls cut off. That's going to be fun. We're going to make way for James.
Whoa, he's not getting his balls cut off. He's just identifying as ballless.
he's identifying as a Ken doll. He's got nothing but a mouth there. But with Black Widow, don't forget, it's Disney. The whole movie, she could just be a Force ghost. That's what it could be. She's back from the
Connected universes. We're gonna. You know what? At that point, if I see if I see Rey show up, I'm not gonna be surprised. Like, fuck it. Let's just think this. You want to hear something interesting? And this still relates to Marvel. They have had the person who did the original Doctor Strange leave because he had creative differences. That's a bad sign. I love the first Doctor Strange. I thought it was great because it was different from everything else that had come out. They dove into something that Marvel hadn't done and said, yeah, magic is a thing. It exists. And I like that. They didn't use any science bullshit or nothing. It was just straight up arcane magic. Now, this Doctor Strange, the person writing it wanted it to be darker. But here comes Marvel going, well, no, we've established a light-hearted, family-friendly tone. We can't talk about a dimension of blood. That's the storyline! Why do you persist in going in this direction? Endgame is done. The first few phases are done. You can do something different. You can be fucking creative. It worked for Joker. Sony's going that route. Why do they still think that there's going to be a drive from this common audience? The common audience is fickle. They're eventually going to taper off and find something new. That's what they do. You have to appeal to the people. You have to appeal to the people who are going to be there and keep things going. And that's going to be fans, not these fucking people who come out and see popcorn flicks. That's all going to die out. This fucking
don't use that phrase.
Die out. What phrase?
Popcorn flicks. They're all popcorn flicks.
Thank you, Geeky Candy. I'm gonna pull that up on screen. She
Of course
says,
you are.
"Common audience doesn't get you longevity." Agreed. It does not.
This is the problem with Hollywood overall, my friend. They keep trying to pander to a specific kind of audience. The problem is that the size of the audience they're trying to pander to is about 0.001% of the population. So, yes, we might all go still watch it, some of them, but they pander to those tiny audiences. I mean, look at Charlie's Angels. Look at Charlie's Angels. They picked, like, first of all, they cut out men. It was like, there goes 50%. And then they're like, anyone who's doesn't want to see women in action, they're not going to like this movie. And then, so they just keep shrinking and shrinking. So not only is it men, then it has to be only feminists that want to see it. So all of a sudden, your audience goes from, let's say 500 million people down to 100,000. It's
Wait,
stupid.
Women in
stupidity.
Action, is that by Elizabeth Banks?
Starring
Correct.
Elizabeth Banks. Produced
Directed by
Elizabeth
Banks. Written by Elizabeth Banks.
Co-produced by Elizabeth Banks. Like, did anyone... First, while we're just on Charlie's Angels, did anyone else fucking make this movie? Like, I did not hear about another writer, another director, like, nothing. I'm like, what about that poor bastard who was in the writing room going, should we have men in this? You're fired! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out!
Yeah,
Like-
there's one man in it, and I only know it from the trailer because they make fun of her for flirting with the nerd.
No, there was another man in it. He was my
Oh.
favorite, by the way. He was the most misogynistic assassin I think there's ever been. I didn't know to be an assassin, you had to be misogynistic. Stupid fucking me. But yeah, this one guy, and they made them overtly evil. Like, he puts Star Wars and the Jabba the Hutt scene where Princess Leia has the fucking collar on her neck, and it's like
The good scene.
Yeah, they do that in 2019, and the scientist lady, the assassin, puts the collar on her neck and like drags her around this room, and I'm like, no villain takes the time to do what? Like, Patrick Stewart, how much did they pay you? You can't seriously think this was a good movie when you read this. You had to have been like, well, Picard is a couple of years away, so I gotta fill my time. What's the shittiest script I can take? Oh, jolly good day. This looks like it'll take me 5 minutes to shoot. Like, oh, holy fuck.
Yeah, you can understand a couple of the other actresses because they're not really well known. So they're just like, yeah, give me a movie, give me a few $1 million, I'll do it for sure because I want to get my name out there. But Patrick Stewart, really?
And you know what? I did a review on this, and I did a review of Underwater, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I endorse this film because fuck Disney. They really fucked this movie over. This has nothing to do with the writers, directors.
I ain't watching that.
But look, Kristen Stewart actually does a phenomenal job in that movie. It reminded me a lot of Alien, and I love Alien. It's like my all-time favorite, I guess, horror, sci-fi horror, if you want to call it that. But like the shots and shit.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
You can't make a comment if you haven't seen the movie.
I don't believe that
What?
Alien's your favorite movie. I don't believe that.
Yeah. Alien is my all-time favorite
No,
sci-fi
it's not.
horror
It doesn't have source material to be based on. I don't believe you.
Actually, there are books in an extended universe, but yeah.
No, the movie came first.
Yeah, but I mean, still,
That's why I said it doesn't have source material to be based on, you putz. That's like saying The Last Jedi is based on the novel of The Last Jedi. No, it's not.
I love that argument.
But
The Last Jedi is better if you read the book.
The Last Jedi was written on toilet paper, wasn't it?
Hey,
Isn't that what it was written on?
that is a great movie. I'm not gonna have y'all sit there disrespecting that out like that. Not when I'm around. It's
Oh, sorry,
2020.
sorry, Perp. I forgot you were the last chill. Sorry.
Hey man, I'm the last black man that like that movie.
You're the only black man who liked that movie.
No, that's not. It's not true. There's a few of us. We're like the Knights of Ren. There's a few of us out there.
But you don't get much. You don't get much airtime, just like the Knights of Ren.
So, yeah, I mean, so Black Widow trailer. Let me go down the line because I'm gonna give my thoughts last because I wasn't with it.
Holy frick, we're still on the detour to the Black Widow trailer?
Yes, Candace, I am black. I'm very black.
But mostly purple.
But
Yes.
mostly purple.
I'm black. All around my body, I'm black.
My
That was very
viewership is shooting
descriptive.
up. My viewership is shooting up. So, all right. So, PB, what did you think of it? Are you excited? Are you excited about Taskmaster?
Like, I don't know who the Taskmaster is. I mistakenly spoke when I was recording a little reaction video for it, and I called him Black Mask because he's wearing a black mask. Wrong comic.
Felonious lies!
Supposedly that some people have a theory that this Taskmaster is a woman.
No.
Yay!
Because there's
No, but from what I saw, I thought it looked pretty good. Because, like Stevie said earlier, we all know who the character is. We don't have to waste time with the introducing of her character. But they still do the little intro, you know, of talking of the other characters, because we don't know who they are. Like, I didn't know that they're supposed to be this pseudo family, and that's supposed to be her, I don't know, adoptive sister, I guess. Like, I'm pretty sure they're not blood sisters. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure they're not. And then there was a bunch of explosions. I like explosions.
This is interesting because if you know the source material...
Proper was here and then he dropped out?
Yeah.
What a dick.
I'm gonna just quote source material for a second because PB hasn't heard me say it in a while. But if you know the story, her quote-unquote sister, it actually takes the mantle of Black Widow after she dies in the comics, because she does die for a stint in the comics, and her name is...
she dies in the movies, too. I watched it.
This guy.
So, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's interesting. Could they be setting up
Here's the thing that's interesting. Somebody that told me to hurry the fuck up finally showed up. What's up, Justin?
We should get some female representation since we're talking about like Black Widow, you know, so we don't get in trouble by the, you know, what's that? The ABCD XYZ.
Yeah, that's what you're here for, Perp. So thank you for joining us. What's up, guys?
Oh, what?
Ouch! Shots fired.
He is coming in hot. I'm gonna have to walk away.
Back up. No. Unicorn is yours. Unicorn is yours. You just remember that. You know, just stop hitting on me, Lee.
No, I'm sorry. You don't have a big enough horn for me to do that.
I think the Black Widow movie is gonna be at least a 7.5.
7.5.
I think it's gonna be a 6.
You said you were going to go last. You're a freaking liar.
See, I'm sorry. I had to impress you for old time's sake. Stevie, what do you think of the trailer? Where are you going to rate it?
Bloody hell, this guy. He frees me from bushfires and dingoes, and then he just depresses me again.
Yep.
Okay. I think Black Widow will be an 8 out of 10. That is what I think.
Ooh, 8 out of 10.
Why is everyone talking about freezing when Stevie J's in Australia right now? I think it's very insensitive. Too soon.
Get a link. Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally
Working on
talking
it.
to you with flames all around me, and and you're talking about freezing. It's so insensitive.
Is everything okay
Hey,
for
where
you
is-
there, where you are?
Yeah, mate, everything's all right. Mostly all right. I'm fine,
Yeah.
but my brother is still evacuated out of his house. But he's not sure if his house and his business has made it through the fires yet. So we will see. We will see.
What's up, y'all?
Hello, Candace.
And on that note, welcome, Candace.
What up?
Yeah, I know y'all were
G'day,
saying that Justin was bringing in the female perspective, I guess, but I thought maybe I could help him out a little.
I got that stupid thing where I can't hear anyone.
I love you, Justin.
I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Stevie couldn't hear you
hear
because
you.
of StreamYard tech.
Oh, damn.
I'm surprised how all these trailers that they've been dropping, we have yet to get an Eternals trailer. Like, not even a tease.
I'm on board with the crew that says, fuck that. I'm just going to say it. Fuck that movie. I don't care about it, honestly.
What's the first
That
trailer?
movie can burn.
What about Black
in hell.
Adam? What about Black Adam coming out?
I am super fucking stoked for Black Adam.
But
Yeah.
wait. Zod
Rock
doesn't even like
all
Black
day.
Panther.
Rock all
Zod-
day. Rock all
Yeah,
day.
Dwayne
He's the
Dwayne
people's
Johnson can do
champion.
whatever the hell he wants for me too. He's fine. Go for it.
You know what? If The Rock said he's coming out with a movie where he's just walking across the street, I will be there
Yeah.
fucking opening day.
Yeah, I can smell what the Rock's cooking.
I mean, I'm not saying that General Zod swings that way, but if General Zod all of a sudden
I don't need to know about your swinging. How it
What do you-
seems
what
to
do you mean?
yourself.
What do you mean,
Goddamn.
if General Zod? What do you mean, if? We know General Zod swings both ways.
You're supposed to say no homo.
No homo.
Yeah, don't you watch the
maybe,
Boondocks?
maybe there's a little there. I don't know. It was pretty. He was pretty adamant about it. I don't know. No
I'm
judgment.
just saying that's the people's.
all
That's the
good.
people's choice. The people's champion.
Yeah.
Justin is just like leaving because he was kind of.
Yeah, he's
salty
like, I
that
can't
took The
handle
Rock.
that shit no more.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To crush your
He just posted. I don't know if you can share screen. I can't share because I'm on my phone. But
I
if
can't
you
either.
look at okay. Oh yeah, you are. Never mind. Well, The Rock posted today. I think it was today. A photo of him training right now for his role, and I have never. And I've seen a lot of The Rock. Just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it there. I've never seen him more swole than in this thing. I mean, he is putting. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Was
It's
he
ridiculous.
engorged? Was he engorged?
I mean, even his face is like super basculated right now. Like he is out. He looks like a superhero without any kind of anything on him. Like it's just weird.
So what you're saying is the reason that he couldn't participate in anything at WrestleMania is because he's on the roids.
Probably.
What is
Probably.
he not training? He's always doing something.
The only time he's not training is when he's actively filming, like when he's in front of the camera.
That is true.
Yeah.
No, because he's probably in his trailer. Like I can get a couple reps in before we reshoot.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what he does. He
Well, that's
goes
what he
back
was
to the
doing.
trailer, does a set of 10, and then he's like, "Okay, let's do this scene." And that's
Yeah,
when
but
he's not training.
At this point, he's probably not in the trailer. He's probably bench pressing the trailer.
Yeah,
Let's get a couple of reps. Let's go lift this bad boy up.
He's a good point. I was like, I heard that Bree was pushing a Jeep. I'm gonna push this trailer.
Yeah, but anyway, if any of y'all have your Twitter and you're wanting to know, I mean, it's like it's crazy looking. It's crazy.
By the way, Candace, if you keep on showing up, we're just gonna have to indoctrinate you into the crew because
Oh
God,
no,
at least
there's
he-
like after you
just
come
don't try and acquire her.
No.
no.
Yeah, you gotta jump
I
in.
need to acquire
Yeah,
a
jump in.
female to
Oh my
complete
God.
No, once you
Acquire
do that,
female.
she won't. No. Okay.
No one can acquire me, Zod. Okay, what are you, like in the 18th century?
He's a
We've been
villain.
trying to do this forever.
I'm a villain.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I
come
can
to my
totally
channel.
tell. Can totally
Yeah,
tell.
Come to my
now
channel, they're
Candace
like,
is
why
never
do you
going to come
say
back
this?
to the fandom zone ever again
Vil-
just because of what you said.
A villain who
General.
kind of swings for The Rock. I got it.
There you
Hey,
go.
General Zod, for a villain, my friend, for a villain with a snapped neck, you certainly got some spine. Talking to Candace like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
So,
no, it worked out well. I can't always be here this late, but I always try. Yeah, I like your streams. They're pretty funny. You guys are weird as shit sometimes, but pretty funny most of the time.
Thank
So I
you.
like it. I say it in a good way. Weirder the better. I think some of your commentary is hilarious.
I will take it.
It's, you know, it's that I look at other channels and I feel like sometimes they want to say what we say, and why just not?
Nobody wants to say
Why
what
just
you
not say it?
Ain't nobody say what Zod wants to say.
And
Well, maybe not particularly me.
everybody wants to read like General Zod. Everybody wants
That's
to read.
true.
Like
Oh
General
yeah.
I think it's great.
No one does their R's like me.
No, it's amazing. That's like your real super talent there.
I've been practicing my dyslexia.
We should do that one of these nights. Have a Zod spelling bee.
Oh god, that'd be so sad.
I'm a judge. I'd be out like the first round.
Yeah.
It'd be like spell fire truck. I'd be like,
You have to give him a handicap. You'd have to have a handicap.
There'll be words no longer than 10 words. You have to spell.
10 letters.
It's pushing it still.
Okay, so now that we have you on, Candace, and we have Stevie, I saved this purposely for the other Joker shill in our group. 11 Oscar nods. 11 Oscar nods.
Yeah, and the SJWS
Joker.
is so wild. I have been combing through article after article after article saying this is some dumb shit he does not deserve, like over and over and over again. It's hilarious, like Salon and all the stereotypically like crazy ones. The headlines are just hilarious right now. I love it. I love it. I hope he wins a whole.
Absolutely. What planet are these knob jockeys on? Seriously. I
Knob
mean, whether you like the Joker movie or not as a movie, like, holy crap. That was one of the best performances I think I've ever seen from an actor.
Yeah. Well,
you
they're
can't deny that.
They're like, oh, Oscar's so white. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude. The dude's white and he's wearing white makeup. It's like Oscar's so extra white. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, do you know what? The Oscars and the Golden Globes, all those awards have pandered for so long. I feel like, I said this the other day, this is the first season of awards I've actually given any shits about, because it's got the Joker in it for 11 nominations. 1917 is a good film. There's actually some good movies up for grabs here, and some actually good performances. It's not just a token. Oh yeah, this person, it's time for them to get an award, or someone of that gender or that race or whatever. It's actually based on performance.
Right. They already gave the Oscar to Leo, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. People are even pissed that Beyonce didn't even get anything for her soundtrack. Her soundtrack in The Lion.
Are you serious?
The
Lion for the fucking Lion King.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm gonna answer this because I am the biggest detractor of this movie. Fuck The Lion King. There is nothing redeemable. It was a soulless shell of a fucking corpse movie, and Beyonce, fuck you and your beehive. You're all crazy fuck.
Relax. Beyonce is still Queen Bee. Relax.
No, do you know what? They should have, if they're going to talk crap like that, they should have given an Oscar to Moira Kelly, who did the original Nala voice back in the original film. Because she was 10 times better than Beyonce, but she was a nothing actress. Like, she didn't do much else.
No, they don't know about anything like that. Anything before their time is irrelevant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, at least I got called racist in my Lion King review, even though I didn't mention race once.
Hey.
Nice.
Talent. It takes good talent.
You are Australian. You're so racist over in Australia, a different
Well,
country. You
Could
racist.
they see your face when you were doing the review?
I can't remember. No, I don't think.
Does
they
it
could.
really matter? I mean, you can hear him.
Yeah, don't
Well,
don't misrace me. Oh man, I've been misraced.
I'll try not to. Okay. Or you like Tongan Australian or something? Okay.
No,
Okay.
No. I'm a white Australian who's now tanned because the sun's been out a
Okay.
lot. So
Yeah, there you go.
I look confusing.
I was going to say, I don't think that's what's giving you your dark complexion in Australia now.
Stevie looks nothing like his avatar.
That is true. That is true.
Like you're either standing too close to the fire or you've got a little ash on you.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like,
sorry,
both.
Australia.
A little of both.
Now,
Oh.
here's the thing. I think that the Oscars realizes they don't have a fucking host because no one wants that fucked up job. So they're going hostless.
Oh,
which
they do have
I'll
it.
do it.
They have it. They have 2 people already are on it. You know who?
Kevin Hart?
Nope. Tina
Oh.
Fey and the blonde chick.
Oh,
Amy
the blonde
Poehler.
chick
Fuck
that's-
that
okay,
cunt.
yeah. Jesus.
I fucking,
Yeah, that's a super safe. They it's so funny.
It's going to be
You know.
lame.
Oh, yeah.
Can we start a new
Tina Fey.
start a new hashtag?
It's
Oscar
extra
so
white. Yeah. They could have
Oscar.
had Kevin Hart and it could have been great. But no, they went with white. They
that'd
went
been
with
even
more
worse.
white people.
That'd be even worse. You know who
Worse
you go
than
get?
Tina Fey. Really?
You get what's his face? I was R. Kelly, but that would been.
Did you just say R. Kelly?
You
Did I
know
hear
what?
that
That'd
right?
be a fucking entertaining
How did
Oscars.
R.
I'd
Kelly
tune
get in
for
here?
every minute of that.
I don't know, but no. But no, all seriousness, you know who they should got Don Cheadle to host, or even Robert
Ooh,
Downey
the
Jr.
War Machine. I mean, Iron Patriot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like any of those people would be. You get the same. It's all vanilla, and I don't mean that like skin color. I mean like you get the same. Pretty much
All right,
the
we
same.
get Idris.
Hey, if it's vanilla,
Yeah.
that means that LB will love it.
There you go.
No,
Ugh,
I would go
so
with
sad.
Idris Elba because like I
Yeah.
love Black Superman. I'm not gonna lie, like that line was so iconic for me. I'm watching Luther right now.
Really?
Like,
That's the most iconic line that you heard?
fuck yeah!
I don't
The way
believe
he
you.
delivers that line, I was like, I guess
You're
it
telling
is.
fibs right now. You're telling
As the
fibs,
Kryptonian.
telling lies and fibs.
It's cute.
Hey, you know what? If Idris Elba was Superman, my neck wouldn't have been broken. That's all I gotta say. So, you know.
No, you would have definitely just got knocked the fuck out and probably died.
Zod, please just stop with the porcupines, mate. We can't take any more. No more porcupines.
Oh, George B.D. Lucas says, I'd love to see Dave Chappelle hosting.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
talk about
George-
shaking things up. That'll never happen.
That'd be
George-
awesome,
Never
though.
happen.
You know who would have been
Dave
a dope?
Chappelle can't even get a ticket there. They
You know who
won't
would've-
let him anywhere
Yeah.
near that.
You know who would have been a dope host?
They wouldn't let him serve people there. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't even be able to do drinks. He wouldn't be
Right.
anywhere near there. They wouldn't let him do anything.
Bernie Mac would have been a good host. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have loved Bernie. Could you picture?
He was
You
so
know
funny.
what? Bernie Mac now, he would have been so disgusted. Like, he was the epitome of like old school, just funny shit. I mean, he didn't even really have to swear to be funny. Like, he
Right.
was just such a great comic.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think
His delivery
that-
it was really nice. It was like you said, no cussing. It was refreshing, actually.
Yeah, he could definitely talk me into buying a Transformer.
Mhm.
Or how even Eddie Murphy, they can go get Eddie Murphy. That'd be legendary.
Yeah.
He'd sit there just roast
Well-
everybody.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy's been on an apology tour lately, though, for things he's said in the
there's
past.
certain people that they want to sit in the front row at the awards, and he might be one of them. How many Oscars is his movie up for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't care because Joker's up for 11.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yes.
Go Joker.
And hey, did y'all hear that because it's so popular, it's getting re-released in theaters this Friday.
Did you just pop champagne, Stevie?
Winning.
Awesome. I'll just pop 7 bottles of champagne all at once. It's going off here. It is going off.
Oh,
So, are
Friggin' amazing.
Are they adding any footage to it or anything?
No,
like
it's
that?
just due to the popularity. Theaters are ordering it. It's going back into theaters Friday. Yeah.
Hey, it's gone. It's the Perp show. It's the Perp and PB show.
Excellent.
Finally,
we got
Hell
rid
yeah.
of the villain.
Geeky show.
Hell yeah.
So, what
Oh damn.
Oscars
no,
is
that
it
was short-lived.
specifically up for? Do we know?
I do not have it in front of me.
Obviously,
well, I don't have all 11, but it's like
Out of-
best
out
picture,
of those
best
11.
director, best actor, best original score.
Nice.
I think there's cinematography as well.
Best
which are all
original
ones that I want
score,
to be up
including that song that everybody freaked out about. This
Oh,
is funny
fuck me.
hearing that.
Yeah, get over it. Seriously, it's just a song.
Yeah.
Only
The song
one
that's in
really-
every other movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Only one really matters. One category matters is Best Picture. That's all people really.
really,
Yeah.
you don't think Best Actor counts?
Yep.
That's
I would agree.
that's like a half a congratulations. Like, oh, you get the action portion, but you don't get the whole fucking. You don't get the whole
Right.
pie. You get a piece.
But you're probably right. Like best picture gets the most airtime, but I reckon best actor, and that's why
'Cause-
I'm happy. That's why I'm happy with these award seasons though, because you got it up for it's shedding some light on the cinematography, the score, the direction, those kind of things, which were all brilliant in that film. So
Oh yeah.
it's shedding a little bit of light on those categories that never get much. Because seriously, when was the last time there was a really original score that was actually really good? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was
Right,
almost
and
another character in the movie.
2005.
What looks better on your Blu-ray? Best Actor or Best Picture?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
Best
a-
picture.
that's a
Absolutely.
good-
No, I agree. Absolutely.
I don't
agree.
know, Perp. You always keep talking about streaming, so nobody's gonna buy the Blu-ray.
But I
Hey,
wouldn't
man.
Yeah, they'll just
Yeah.
you know what though? You know the Joker's Blu-ray is going to be 11. It's going to have 11 11
Right,
nominations.
it's
for
gonna
Oscar
have all of it on
nominations.
there.
Hell yeah. It's going to be awesome.
You got
Say
a bunch
11
of
nominations,
Beautiful.
8 wins, Best Picture, Best Actor.
Yeah.
and
It
that
should
will
be, it should
that will
it
be
should be
solidified.
nominated for an extra one. They should come up with a new category, and it should be nominated for, which is biggest middle finger to the shill media.
Yep.
If he wins,
Yeah, pretty much.
if he wins 9 out of the 8, or like no 9 out of the 11 or some shit like that, like you guys just say this his performance and everything is better than Heath Ledger. That whole argument is done. Put that shit to rest.
I think it was just by. I mean, first of all, Heath Ledger. The two types of acting completely different in this for me. I mean, they're both completely different. Hard to compare. It's two different, like down to the atoms of what makes up Joker. They're totally different.
Yeah.
But that being said, going strictly on movie time, how much scene time? Okay, it's like so hard to say that Heath Ledger outperforms, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
When Joaquin Phoenix was literally the entire movie. Now Heath Ledger's performance to me was the entire movie for The Dark Knight, or for Dark Knight. But it was.
But when you think about it as well, like you just said, Heath Ledger also had other strong characters, strong actors to bounce off in his scenes. Whereas Phoenix was pretty much holding it all himself. So
he had one imaginary. He had an imaginary character.
Yeah,
That's about
exactly.
it.
Yeah, but
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Like you said, they're two very different Jokers, and so it's hard to compare like that. But if you looked at pure acting ability on screen time and all of that, just
purely
Phoenix.
objective. Purely objective to that alone, you can't compare it. So it's
No, exactly.
it's
And
no brainer.
don't get me wrong, I
Well-
love my homeboy Heath Ledger.
I do
I mean,
too. I
he's
loved his
awesome.
performance.
This is an award for acting. So if it comes down to who is a better actor between the two of them, I feel like it's pretty obvious that the answer is Joaquin Phoenix because they played the same character and one of them is still alive.
Damn.
That's
dark.
cold.
Okay.
That's some cold
That's
shit.
cold.
man.
That's cold. Yeah, that's cold, baby.
You went there.
It is
and
you gotta
cold,
work-
but
work on
it's
that heart a little bit.
totally true.
And you know
Like
what,
they
Bear
both
Bear, I
got
don't.
into that character, and one of them came out, and one of them did not.
And
Hey,
Bear Bear
I
Bear
say,
is fun. Welcome.
I say,
He's in the chat.
I know the DCEU or whatever they're gonna call it going forward is missing a Joker, but I will say that they should just go get Bill Skarsgård. Just go get him, let him play.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
They
the
already
Wonder
did
Woman verse? I mean,
I would
after
say
it
just
makes that $1 billion, it's her and Aquaman. That's all I got
1.5.
going.
1.5. 1.5.
So which do
Well-
y'all think's going to be the better? We've seen the first two. We've seen 2 trailers for Black Widow, 1 for Wonder Woman. Which do y'all think out of the trailers so far?
Wonder
gonna be-
Woman, hands down. Wonder
Wonder
Woman.
Woman.
Really?
Wonder Woman.
All
Just
the
looking
Woman.
at the trailer,
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
I would lean towards Black Widow, but after I got a little more info about what's happening in the trailer, I would lean towards Wonder Woman because I didn't
So
know what
that's
was going
with-
on with the Chris Pine's character.
So you don't think that the storyline, like the leak supposedly about the whole monkey's paw kind of storyline thing behind Wonder Woman and Max Lord, is going to be affecting any of the the normie crowd? Probably not, right?
No,
Yeah, that's
because
No,
that's
they're
the
not.
same people
They're not
that
gonna know the
love
lore.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
love
going to
Iron Man 3.
next couple trailers seeing how Kristen Wiig's character is going to be as well, because I've seen some pictures of her doing stunt work, dressed in just like cheetah print, but not like
They-
full out cheetah.
They said
Yeah.
that she's going to be full cheetah in the.
But
in
yeah,
the
yeah, they
movie.
said I think it's going to be though something towards the end that
Yeah,
we see
makes sense.
that's going to be carried on. Maybe if the movie, if there's any way to carry her on, maybe that'll be the case. But if the majority of the movie though is her not like that, I'll still be a little disappointed because I was really excited to hear Kristen Wiig. I mean, Kristen Wiig. It's gonna be, that was kind of a risky thing to do, I think, because she
Well,
carries this comedic undertone in all of her stuff, most of it anyway. She's done a few works that are,
Yeah.
but
I hope
they're
they
not
don't.
like.
I just hope they don't go too heavy with her comedy stuff because
Exactly,
she's-
exactly.
she's good at that. She's really good at it. But one of my favorite performances of hers was in Walter Mitty because she was kind of borderline comedy, but she was doing more dramatic acting, and I thought she was really good in that. So I hope they keep her comedy under wraps a little and just don't go too far with it because it'll just take away from the movie and the performance.
Hmm.
I don't know. My feelings is that I think that they're doing it smart, and I don't think we're seeing everything that's being done in this movie. I think that what you saw, they haven't done the CGI or anything on it. It could just be because what they do with the CGI is they'll make an outline of something and then they'll CGI over that. So
Well, she's going to be wearing
prosthetic.
prosthetic too. She's doing prosthetic also. I think the majority is prosthetic.
What?
Her face and parts of I think her shoulders, different parts that are just slightly modified to give her more of a cheetah-esque look. I was reading an article from that Patty Jenkins talking about it, and she is doing prosthesis work on her. So
sorry everyone, I've got
Interesting.
to I gotta bail. I gotta get back
You gotta
to the
fuck off?
dingoes. Yeah, gotta get back to the dingoes, mate.
All right, man.
But it's been nice talking to
Dingoes.
everyone.
Yeah,
Good
you too.
talking to you.
Excellent.
Hey, stay safe out there.
Hey,
I will, thank
Stevie,
you.
After the Oscars, we're going to talk about how Joker won all 11 nominations.
Yes, we will.
We should make a
All
bet
12, because I added an extra category. It's all 12 now.
Yeah.
Hey, I hate to do this too, but I have to bounce also. Yeah, I gotta get to sleep so I can have a little energy tomorrow and go skiing in the morning. Yeah, so yeah, trying to not die.
Peace out.
skiing.
Don't want to die. Yeah,
See you,
See
Steven.
everyone. Catch ya. Bye.
All right.
See.
Bye, you guys. Have a good night.
See you,
The,
Candace. Oh my
and then
God,
there was
vertical.
the vertical
What is
weird view.
happening?
No.
Keep it
Okay,
this way.
that's
You should
better.
have kept it that way.
You want to
yeah.
keep it that way? Then his face is so big. Like, we want people to continue to watch, don't we? I mean, I guess people that are just listening will continue to listen because they're not looking up his nostrils. But the people who are watching will be like, nope, this ain't for me. I'm going someplace else that has a low cut shirt.
So, we've done the Oscar bit that I wanted to do and get Stevie's perspective. Let's talk about, and good night, Candace. Thank you for stopping by. Let's talk about something funny, and I'm gonna read a quote that set Twitter on fire on one of my favorite authors. Yes, TV, get your jokes out of the way. Sometimes I read, not very well. It takes me a long time, but I read Stephen King. So I'm going to back to Twitter here, and I just want to read something quick that I think needed to be said and pissed off a lot of people.
You said something on Twitter?
Oh, no. I mean, I do, but Stephen King put out a tweet, and he said, I would never consider diversity in matters of art, only quality. It seems to me that to do otherwise would be wrong. So he was saying that diversity.
He doesn't care about diversity when it comes to his art. He only cares about the quality of his art.
Exactly. That the diversity should be played to add quality to whatever story you're telling.
The diversity is only there to improve the quality exclusively.
Exactly. It's not there to be your story. It's there to enhance your story. And since he put out this quote, he's been getting attacked, of course, by these wacky ass people who are saying, oh, what are you, sexist, racist? And it's like, no, where in that statement, where in that tweet does he mention anything about race, gender, any of these other crazy things that people automatically jump to? He's simply saying that in storytelling now, they are using diversity as like this, this sticking point for their stuff.
No, I mean, it's like going back to, if you're watching Black Panther, it shouldn't be full of white people. If I turn that movie on and I was like, okay, you got the Black Panther, okay, he's a black guy. How come when he goes back to Africa, where he's from, and he goes to his city with all of his fancy technology, he's working for a bunch of white people? Like, that would be fucked up.
Yeah, and it would add nothing to the story.
It would add absolutely nothing. You would have people going, this don't make any fucking sense. Why do you have a bunch of white people in the middle of fucking Africa? Where the hell did they come from? You'd be like, I don't know. When in reality, there's what, 2 white people in the whole frickin' movie? 3?
Maybe 3.
Which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Because it's a piece of art. I don't care about the diversity in Black Panther, even though they talk about how it's hugely diverse, which it's not, because it's mostly black people, That's not the point. The point is, it is what it's supposed to be for the sake of the art. For the sake of that story, for the sake of bringing that character to life, that's what you're supposed to have. So yeah, I don't see where in this tweet how he mentions anything that is bigoted in any fashion. But yeah, it's totally something that's going to set off all the wackos on Twitter, because they don't know how to fucking interpret shit. Because they don't think that it can go either direction.
No, it's one way or the other.
From that perspective, they're like, nah, man, we need more white people in Black Panther. We need them in there. We need more Chinese people in Black Panther. We did not have enough Indians in Black Panther. Where are all the people from Brazil in Black Panther? What the hell? Like, no, I don't need any of that.
No, I agree. Perp, what do you think about these crazy people on Twitter attacking pretty, just comment really about the art being put out in general?
Regular shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is regular shit. I mean, it is sad that that's the norm that we've come to know about Twitter.
I mean, I don't want to cut you off, but I bet that he enjoyed using the mute button on this conversation.
So,
like, he had to have gone back to it after he's seen a bunch of it and was like, I ain't listening to these stupid fucking responses.
Like, yeah, he came out and, Stephen King is an interesting character in general because he's never been one that's really pro-government, things like that. He's had a lot of, like, random, like, pretty much 70s way of thinking as far as things go. I don't necessarily like where his stance is in politics. But, I mean, the man, as far as just telling it as it is with art, has always been.
Uh-oh. Why is he silent? What happened?
What's that?
You cut out, man.
Oh, I was saying that Stephen King is an artist, and him commenting on how art is being fucked over, it comes from a source of a man who sold millions of copies of books, folks, books, not ebooks, not this bullshit online thing. I mean, hardcover copies of books.
Don't say that, because he's sold probably more soft cover copies.
Yeah, I mean, the man has sold millions of copies of his stories and things like that. And, these people attacking him when he's making a critique on art is just stupid. It's just Twitter.
It seems like a strange thing to critique. Like, it was such a say nothing about nobody tweet that somebody was like watching his Twitter account and was like, I can't believe that he said this about diversity. I can't believe he's knocking my ever wonderful diversity. And I was like, no, he's not. He didn't knock diversity at all. Like, did you read the tweet? Do you not know how to interpret what the hell he said? Because he's exclusively talking about art. Like, if you're talking about something else, if you're talking about the workplace, exclude this tweet. Got nothing to do with you. If you're talking about, putting people or, getting women into some sport, nope, disregard this tweet. Has nothing to do with it. We're talking about art, exclusively art. Paintings, movies, TV, anything that you consider art, that's only what it pertains to. So if you're thinking of anything else, you're talking about politics, that's not art, even though it's funny as hell most of the time. That's not what he's talking about. And I'm sure that's what they were interpreting it as. Like, oh, he don't want diversity and stuff. No, he don't. That's has nothing to do with it. It's about art. He wants the art to be the best that it can be. And when you start to compromise your art for the sake of diversity, where you go, wait a second, we don't have our one black character that we have in the movie on screen long enough, so let's rewrite part of the story so that we can get him on screen longer, and then the middle of your movie doesn't make any sense. And then you get people calling out the movie and going, well, I liked it, but, right in the middle it didn't make any sense, so it starts getting bad reviews, and then you get attacked for giving it bad reviews because, well, why are you attacking the diversity in the movie? And you're like, well, I'm not attacking the diversity. I was attacking the story because the story didn't make any sense because you compromised your art for the sake of diversity. It's quite the vicious circle that they've put themselves into.
And here's the thing, too. This whole tweet started when Stephen King was explaining diversity in art. It says, responding to the lack of diversity in the Academy Award nominations that people are talking about, writer Stephen King said he would never consider diversity in matters of art. King later clarified his comment, but fans were already made their reaction.
Made their reactions cut out because they're too far away from their router and have bad Wi-Fi? Is that what he was going to say? I have no idea. He's frozen too, isn't he? Is he frozen on your screen, Perp? He's 100% frozen. Son of a bitch. Typical. You got to move closer to your router, guy. That's terrible.
Okay, that's can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so
we lost Perp.
so as far as the diversity comment goes, he was talking about the Academy Awards when he made that statement, and he said that as a writer, he is allowed to make a choice on these nominations, or he's got some kind of requisite to the academies. And he said that whole comment about the diversity, and people went crazy. And he was like, I'm not talking about people. He comes on later and clarifies in a tweet. He says, I'm talking about as an art form, why are we judging these films on the merits of how diverse they are, as opposed to what they're supposed to be judged on, which is the acting, the direction, all of that stuff. And people went crazy and started attacking him about it. And then he just retweeted, well, that's your opinion, and hasn't said anything.
Well, it's also easier to attack him because he's an old white man.
Yeah. And this is the thing. The man has amassed more money than anyone else who's making these stupid opinions. The man has written books that have gone on to be bestsellers, classic in literature. So I would take his
right, not to mention all of his
art.
books that have turned into movies, because that's what I care about.
Yeah, I mean, It Chapter 2 was, but I mean, that was still.
Oh, and the remake.
Hit. Yeah. I mean.
Oh,
Pet
you were
Sematary.
talking about the remake.
Yes.
The new mini series on HBO is crazy. The Outsider. That's just pretty dope so far.
Interesting.
I mean, you're talking about someone who knows their craft, and they get people who can act, and they get people who could bring their work to life. Stephen King always has some kind of deal with these people where he's helping out in the background to make sure they don't fuck up his vision. And, he knows his craft well. He's been doing it for years. And these ass clowns come on and they, they presume to tell a man who's in the field, and these are Twitter weekend warriors who don't know shit about shit, that are drinking their soy latte, bitter at the world, looking for their next thing to be a victim over. And it's just, it's 2020 kicking off strong with another bunch of fucking stupid, ignorant bullshit being said, like, nonstop. It baffles my mind. And I had to bring it up because it ties into the Academy Awards and this whole thing where we're still attacking. Oh,
he's up for an Academy Award?
No, he had some kind of vote for the Oscar nomination. I guess they poll different people who are famous in different fields, and he's one of the people who gets to have some kind of like vote. So, which is interesting because I never knew that, but yeah. So, when they do these different things. They poll different artists and things like that, and then the Academy takes all the recommendations and they nominate.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, if you've got people like that saying Joker's a good movie, you know, this all comes back to people being salty about Joker being nominated for 11 nods. And don't get me wrong, the only other movie I think that could really honestly run
It's a
against it
comic
was
book movie. Don't forget to say that every time that you say 11 nominations.
11 nominations for a comic book movie, which is fucking outstanding. And the only movie
Rub
that
that in all their faces because they're a bunch of snobby bastards.
Yeah, I believe there was saying a while back, and you know, PB, I'm pretty sure you might have heard, but they were like, a comic book movie will never be nominated. They're roller coaster rides and popcorn flicks. They're not art. Well, guess what? Who's laughing now?
Well,
But
you know that, Arthur Fleck.
yeah,
They're all going to
people are
say,
probably
as when it starts just winning awards, and it's already started to win awards, all
Yep.
of the people out there that don't want to admit it, they'll just keep saying, well, it's not really a comic book movie. It just is, you know, a movie about a demented man, and they just happen to call it Joker. And then I would retort back with, the only fucking reason I watched it is because it's called Joker. Like, if it was called Demented Man with Makeup, I wouldn't have watched this fucking movie.
Yes, that's called marketing 101, people. You know, that thing that they do where they want their movie to sell, so they attach it onto something that's noticeable. Only this time, the person who was doing it gave a shit about the product they were putting out. So, I mean, and it shows. The people cared, the director cared, the writers cared, the actor
And
cared.
you can't tell me from anything that you've ever seen the Joker in that that character in that movie didn't act just like the fucking Joker.
I mean, especially the ending. I mean, that's
Like leading up to it, like now that you've seen it and you can in your mind put it in reverse, you're like, oh, well, this is how the Joker is as a supervillain. He's already went to prison. He's already had the complete psychotic break. He's a total supervillain, and he's the nemesis of Batman. That's where he stands. All right. What does it take to get somebody there? And then you watch that movie and you go, yeah, I could see that working out that way. Cool. That was a pretty good fucking movie. And then it gets
yeah.
11 nominations and you go, that also makes sense.
I mean, you know, and shout out to Doomcock because I actually watched that video he did on how salty someone had written a piece at Slant Magazine. Is that not
Slant?
appropriate? Shit you not, that's the name of the magazine. And was that not
Like,
appropriate?
wait a second. Like a real fucking magazine that goes out on paper?
Yeah, it's a real magazine. He had a link to the article and everything. And if you guys don't
I take it their coverage is totally level, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So this guy, the title of his article is "Why the Joker is Dumb," and he says this dumb douchebag says the opening title, Joker, the fucking title itself is dumb. The way that they put it on the screen is dumb.
Wait a second. How is it dumb? He wants to be a comedian, and he also has a disease that makes him constantly laugh at inappropriate times. Joker.
Yeah, no. He said the way that the title looks is dumb. The yellow lettering, the way they have
the
it positioned.
font?
The title, the font, yes, he critiques the fucking font. How bad are you reaching?
Wow, I totally misinterpreted that because I didn't think that somebody would be so asinine as to critique something like that. Like, oh, I didn't like the beginning of Avengers Endgame. Well, why didn't you like the beginning? I didn't like the way Endgame looked. Well, what do you mean? Like you didn't like the tone of it? Like you didn't like the dark setting? No, like the font of how the word Endgame looked on the screen. Like I didn't like how that looked. Yeah, I've never heard anybody say that before in my life. You got to be fucking kidding me. How did I miss this video?
Yes, go. It's one of the newest videos Overlord DVD put out. Doomcock, giving great stellar commentary, and he pulls up this article, and he even says in his article he can't believe this is a thing. He says the media is so desperate to reach for anything that this guy is literally critiquing how dumb the opening title shot is. The fucking title shot. How do you call yourself a critic and you judge a movie right off the bat from the words on the screen that the movie is about? That baffles my mind. That's a whole new level of tomfoolery that I've ever come across. Like, I mean, and you know how Doomcock does his videos, with his sarcasm, and he's like, "Oh yes, Greg, definitely that title scene really set up this disaster." And it was like, thank you, Tommy, for throwing up that link. Because I've had a few correspondents. I would love to, man, if I ever got Doomcock on the show, oh my god, I think that'd be another crowning moment. I so respect what he
That'd be
does
pretty
over at his channel.
amazing.
Oh, it'd be epic.
I would
Two
love to talk
supervillains.
to a man in a mask.
Oh, two supervillains on the same stream? That'd be, he's got the center of the earth. I'm trying to get the whole
You
earth.
have Milwaukee.
Hey, it's baby steps.
Yes, I'm going to set it up just like that.
So, I mean,
I wanted to say, I did not say fandom zone. I wanted to say Milwaukee.
Yes, I know, Tommy. It would be a big splash, but I mean, yes, Ancient One, we would probably have a blast, but like this guy in this article, he insults the very people who would read this piece of shit article by saying, okay, he quotes a quote where the reviewer says that people are so much drones that they are entranced by useless violence in a film. And I'm like, the violence comes at literally the last 10 minutes of the film and like that 5-minute part, that train scene. But the rest
What are
of
you
the
talking
violence,
about? There's violence all the way through, man. Like they steal the sign at the beginning. Like he shoots people in the middle. Like he kills a guy, and then
but I
he
mean
scares a midget.
but the really like gruesome stuff isn't until the latter half of
What
the
are you
film.
talking about? He stabbed that guy to death.
That's at the end of the film.
That's not at the end of the film.
That's like the last 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh. You need to rewatch the movie. Like that is not in the last 20 minutes, guy. He does not kill that big son of a bitch in the last 20 minutes before he goes.
That's before he goes on Murray.
Yeah, I know it's before he goes on Murray. It's well before he goes on Murray. Because it's before he even goes down the steps.
And that's literally like the end of the movie.
Okay, I could say like 3 or 4 more or 5 more scenes before we get to the end of the movie. The end of the movie is when he's in the insane asylum again. That is the end of the movie.
So long.
The climax of the movie is when he shoots Murray and then they have the riot. That's the climax. I will give you that is the end of the movie. Nothing before that is the end of the movie, guy.
But the point is, he calls...
The point is, you don't know where the end of the movie starts. And you watched it like a dozen times.
I did. But
I watched it like twice.
but the point being is that he is insulting people for liking this film. He is insulting the intelligence of people, calling them simpletons because they're transfixed on this generic telling of this, and it's all cookie cutter, and it's the whole movie is stupid and has no relevance. There's no point. There's no.
Dude, if he would have killed somebody with a cookie cutter, that would have been awesome.
Oh, he also goes on to say that the social violence is so cartoonish that it has no relevance in today's society.
Like people bullying the Joker?
No, like the riot scene at the ending was like so.
So the guy only talks about the end of the movie?
Yeah, he jumps around. He's like, the end of the movie was
dumb. He's one of them.
How they handled mental illness. And I'm like, I feel mentally ill going into this article.
I guess. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, like, and I mean, this is the kind of articles we're gonna see. I'm waiting for like the really big.
This makes me want to vote. We don't get to vote for the Oscars. I got to get myself into that category. I like voting for stuff. I vote, every time that I drive past any local place on a Tuesday and they're just having like a town meeting or something like that, I always think to myself, was there something I was supposed to vote for today? Like, was there a local election that I missed out on? Son of a bitch. So then I got to call up my dad, and I was like, did you vote today? And he goes, no. And I go, okay, then there was nothing I needed to vote for. That's good. Oh, you're back. So,
yes. Back like syphilis.
Oh, God.
Awesome. So, Perp, what do you think about this person on Slant? Like, they're already coming out attacking.
You heard what this villain's been talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So, have you ever heard of Slant Magazine? Because it's a real public, no, it's a thing.
Nobody reads magazines anymore.
That's what I was saying.
No, like the last magazine I remember reading, like on a regular basis was Game Informer in like 2015.
Fuck you, Game Informer. Fuck you.
Hey. Move on.
You know my feelings on game magazines now. They don't talk about the game anymore.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go to the internet for that stuff and watch a video. You gotta watch 100 videos to get a reasonable opinion.
It's just.
This is an amalgamation of what the internet said, and what Slant said was fucking ridiculous. Like, this guy's supposed to be a professional writer?
Yep. And a
I
critic.
assume this was in like the editorial section or the op-ed section or whatever.
Yep.
Jesus. Why Joker is dumb and why I'm dating Jenny Nicholson. Right? It's Nicholson?
Yep. Jenny
and
Nicholson.
Her giant fucking porg. Like, turn down the light. My porg looks too heavenly. Fucking hilarious.
And Doomcop brings up a good point. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they made
really sounded
character...
like you said Doomcop. Like, you're gonna scare Perp away again.
Police.
Let's just say for a second they had gender swapped the Joker, made a female
and
Joker.
And instead of calling him Arthur Fleck, her name would have been like, I don't know, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, would the response then?
And it would have been called Joker still.
Yep, because they got to get that marketing. But could you picture, like, do that train
The
scene again.
outrage from Thomas Wayne punching this chick in the face.
Or call it joke her.
I mean, picture the okay. Let's go back and picture that train scene for a second, and picture all of those white males, and they harass this poor innocent female who's on the edge because society has marginalized her and pushed her over the edge, and then these white males, these sexist white males who work for this evil corporation, push her, and then she bravely takes the gun out and she shoots all of them. How? But the media would be coming out and going, this is the bravest film of 2019. This should get every fucking award imaginable. We should make up a new award just for this film. Fucking Brie Larson. I mean, this is like the greatest thing the Oscars could have done. They're making a step in the right direction. All of these headlines go a completely different direction. That's what this comes down to.
I think they should make a category for superhero movies. I think that'd be a smart idea to get people.
They
to
tried
watch.
doing that. You don't remember they tried doing that? Oh, what? It was gonna be it was gonna be most popular movie or some shit like that.
Oh, yeah, they should do that.
You don't remember them creating that category?
They should do that.
And then they got rid of it like a week later.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have a comment here to read from Generation Productions specifically for you.
I feel like the words are out of order because I tried reading it and it didn't make sense to me. So I feel like I'm going to reposition the words and read them the way that I think they're supposed to be read. The issue people have with the Joker movie, oh, see, it still don't make sense to me. And the Joker is like, people, why so serious?
I could not have done that evil laugh better. Yes. So, we spent a lot of time talking about this, so I'm going to jump down to something that is becoming a big killer, and it's putting cancer on hold.
What?
What do you, whoa. What do you mean putting cancer on hold?
Like the like Aquarius, like the horoscope cancer.
No, cancer isn't the thing killing Americans.
It's Americans killing Americans.
Big drops
Right.
in cancer's mortality rates are worth celebrating, but they stand
Hooray.
a sharp contrast with many persistent and worrisome health trends. Americans
Swear to God,
got
if you say fucking opioids, I'm gonna go crazy.
No, actually, that's where I thought this was going too, but I perused the article.
Okay, continue.
Americans got fantastic health news last week. Based on the latest data, U.S. cancer deaths are plunging downward at a fast rate. The finding came in a report Wednesday by American Cancer Society, which attributed the decline to a reduction in smoking, of course, which it was lowered
Puff, pass.
lowered lung cancer mortality rates, as well as advances in surgery and diagnosis, and the arrival of new effective medications. Even better, those numbers come from 2017 and should improve with expanded use of the latest drugs and technology. Other knowledge of the and the ability to combat cancer has grown substantially in recent decades, and the resulting decline in deaths is something to cheer. But as much as I'd like to survey this victory, I have to point out that these scientific advances and improvements outcomes in oncology stand a sharp contrast with other trends. Chief among them, American life expectancy trials, other developed nations, and outright decline in recent years, even as the country spent more than any other on healthcare, this disconnect shows how much more needs doing. The outliner, the U.S. has seen impressive and consistent reductions in cancer mortality. The same
Did you
can't be
say
said.
outliner?
Yes,
Outlier?
outlier. I gotta fuck up at least a couple times. The U.S.
That
has
was
seen.
not the first fuck up. There was a portion back there where there was a bunch of words with the letter F, and it was hilarious.
The U.S. has seen impressive and consistent reductions in cancer mortality. The same can't be said for the 9 most other common deaths in America. We got heart disease up,
Yes, it's
accident.
always heart disease. Heart disease kills so many people, and nobody cares about hearts. They only care what goes on top of hearts. People care about boobs, not what powers the boobs.
Accidents are up. Alzheimer's is
Did
up.
you just say accidents?
Yes, like car
Like
accidents.
I was walking and I tripped and I stabbed myself with a knife? Accidents?
Car accidents, regular accidents, household accidents. Yes.
Or like
The
I was
accident.
playing with fireworks and blew myself up? Accidents?
Yes, is up. That means
What the
all these.
fuck?
Hopefully, it's these people on Twitter that are making dumb comments, like accidentally impale themselves while they're typing. Influenza and pneumonia is up a bit. Suicide is up. After seeing Charlie's Angels,
Well, I
I can
mean,
see
of
why.
course, suicide is up. Like everybody got triggered. They're like, oh my God, he's wearing a red hat. I'm not safe here anymore. Must execute. I don't know. Order fucking retard.
The source for disease and control or disease control center and prevention National Center for Health Statistics says that one big reason drug companies have flocked towards cancer and gotten a record number of oncology drugs approved in recent years is related to the payoff, which is a function of how our healthcare system works. Cancer drugs face limited reimbursement pressure relative to medicines that target large population and chronic conditions. That continues to be true even as list prices at launch routinely exceed 100,000 for a course of treatment. Spending on the category more than doubled between 2013 and 2018, from 27.3 billion to 56.7 billion. So you can see why drug companies might favor pumping money into cancer R&D over remedies for other conditions. New drug developments for mental health and addiction, for example, have been
Somebody screenshot his face. He's frozen. I can still hear him, but his face is frozen. That's hilarious.
Yeah, the compensation for suicides and overdoses contributing to declining U.S. life expectancy.
Get him, Tommy.
Nearly 73,000 Americans died from liver disease and other alcohol-related illnesses in 2017, which is more than
Alcohol-related illnesses?
yes. I swear to God. In
Is that just like I
2017.
got extra drunk and fucking died?
Yep. From alcohol poisoning and all that. It's doubled since 1999. Alzheimer's disease will only become a more prominent cause of death and a financial burden as the population ages out. And yet there's been minimal progress toward those treatments. And while we're great at compensating companies for the development of multiple cancer medications in the same categories, developers of antibiotics medications will probably need to ensure the survival of the species and keep from going bankrupt. Unless government ponies up a significant cash to support researchers that take on big challenges or challenge incentives to better target areas of eminent need, that may not ever change. Finances are only part of the equation. for sure, new technologies and medicines to treat cancer have developed and helped tame the disease, but public health efforts arguably deserve even more credit for cutting mortality rates. The near 30% drop in adults smoking since the 1960s has led to a considerable reduction of deaths from lung and other cancers. Given the high cost of treatment in
I mean,
American
what does it
hospitals,
count as? Does it? I assume it counts as an accident if you die from vaping now, right? Because they
yeah,
don't know what to classify it as, and people are fucking dumb.
yeah, like that doesn't even
No,
they
like
don't
I've
even
watched a bunch of stupid. Well, I haven't like went out of my way to watch the videos, but I've come across them on Twitter or watching like ridiculousness or Tosh.0 or shit like that of people taking like 4 or 5 fucking machines at once, like one style of one or one or the other, or a bunch of different flavors, and they do them all at once. And I was like, you're not supposed to smoke the entire pack of cigarettes all at once. Like, that will kill you. Like, that's not good. That's like taking all the nicotine patches and putting them all over your body all at the same time. It's the same fucking thing. You can't do that. Like, you still have to use it appropriately. You're not just smoking the flavored water. There's still nicotine in it.
and
Like
that
if
would
you
be
went there and
interesting.
you got stuff that was flavored with no nicotine and you were actually doing that, then it would be okay. If there's nothing in it except for just the flavor, then it would be fine. But it's not. And they're fucking dumb. Oh, they're so dumb.
And
But
that would be
yeah.
interesting to see how that factors in, because they're not putting it under the cancer stuff, because they're just talking about
No,
the
I
standard
assume
shit.
that those people die of that it's accidental. Oh, I accidentally overdosed on my cigarette juice. Fucking idiots.
So, American hospitals and the price and limited efficiency of many medicines prevention is always a better deal. There are plenty of important intervention initiatives that deserve great funding, including efforts to reduce obesity and lower infection rates of Hep C and HPV. Unfortunately, thinking ahead is rarely what the U.S. system prioritizes or where it excels. Money that could flow to these efforts or to what might be the most significant public health issue of all, ensuring that the basic care is accessible and affordable instead of gets vacuumed up in high prices and wasteful spending. The drop of cancer mortality is worth celebrating, but without acknowledgement, the context are without acknowledging the context and the cost does little good. So, I found this
Oh,
intrigue.
you're
I found
unfrozen now. Damn it.
So Perp says bye. He was falling asleep. So shout out to Perp. But yeah, um, I find it funny that and
I'll
Tommy
watch
put
an
it best.
anime later.
I find it funny. Tommy put it best. Like accidents have gone up. I mean, I'm not shocked. I mean,
Like,
look at
and
the
all
culture
of
we're
these
in.
numbers were per capita, right?
Yeah, per capita.
Okay.
So I mean, they're tying in everything to this equation. It was like, you know how the health board goes out and does their surveys and then, you know, brings
Yep.
in all the figures.
Government numbers.
We can't go, well, we don't really know how accurate those numbers are. But I mean, people, why I bring this up, just think about the way our culture is. Now you go back to the 90s and we had shit going on like AIDS and, you know, hepatitis and cancer and all of these things going on. Now we're actually bringing those mortality rates down, and this new generation has upped accidents. Fucking accidents. What are these people dying from accidentally?
I
Like,
just
if
told you they're dying from fucking vaping, man.
you like, it was people like walking across the street with their cell phone and being like, I gotta check my fucking Twitter. What's new on my feed? Bam! Hit by a truck. Like, it
Hit by
baffles my
2
mind.
trucks.
Like, it baffles my mind at how you swap mortality rates. And I mean, it really all comes back to, I like to tackle how funny the culture is getting from different perspectives, and the fact that cancer studies are actually like, and good for people with cancer. I mean, I'm glad that they're getting treatment and we're extending their life and we're actually like beating this thing. That's good. But the fact that now we have accidents topping the charts and Alzheimer, fuck the old people. Those motherfuckers need to check out. It's just go. We don't need to be wasting any more taxpayer money on them. It's like, wow. Like,
I
I
mean,
have,
old people are supposed to die.
I mean, yeah, that's a
I
cold
mean,
aspect,
aren't
but
they? Like, I don't know what number they're classifying as old people, but if they're like talking at and over life expectancy, like, you're supposed to be dead already. If you've made it past life expectancy, you won.
and I mean, but here's the thing, PB. We've all had that really old, like they are wondering why they're still around, and they come back to like all the family gatherings, and they fucking hate everyone, and they sit in the corner and bitch and complain about everything. I mean, that's part of the charm. You're like, oh, there goes Uncle Huey. He's a dick, but we have to invite him because he's kind of like the patriarch of the
Well,
family.
I
And
mean, that's what they always say. The angriest people live the longest, or the meanest people, or whatever the fuck. The rudest people? I don't fucking know. Like,
so
I'm
we're gonna be
rude as
around
hell to
doing
people,
YouTube
but people
forever.
still like me. So it's because I'm straightforward.
Yeah, what we consider straightforward, most people would be like, when we get to be in our 70s, could you picture us still YouTubing?
Sure, why not?
They're
It's
gonna
just
be
a
like,
microphone and a connection.
be like, by then we'll have, I don't know how this fucking virtual headset works.
It'll all be automatic. Just
Oh
tap
my
it
god.
on my brain. Boom, connected.
And Tommy says, at Pop Culture PV, check your DMs. He's got something for you. Tommy's got something.
I bet he does. I bet it's exactly what I asked for.
But I mean,
Frozen
it's
face on.
but I had to bring this article up because I think it swings back to the fact that with everything going on, uh people are being this stuff, and we're not focusing on the good shit that's happening. Like, just think about that. We've beaten the mortality rate for cancer. People are living longer with this horrible disease, and they're living comfortably. They are the numbers of people dying
Yeah,
from
look at
cancer.
Roman Reigns. He
Exactly.
beat it
Exactly.
twice. Fucking
Twice.
lies.
Twice. Fake beat it twice. Go
I mean, he
Roman.
beat it once for sure.
Yes.
The second
The,
time, I am still very skeptical.
but I mean, it says a lot. And like, I guess the highlight we could take in the stream in general is that, here we are in a new
Joker
year,
got
and
11 nominations.
yeah, Joker got 11 nods. The wave is dying down, and we should all just take a moment and be happy about all these accomplishments. I mean, if these fucking people just took a time to look and go, oh, society is making strides. Maybe me bitching about a white guy getting 11 nods should be the least of my concern. Why aren't they talking about this good shit? Why isn't anyone talking about the fact that we are beating cancer, that we are finding new medicines for HIV, that we're making strides in different
Because
fields?
it's a positive thing. The only person that's allowed to talk about positive things is Trump.
Which, guess what? Iran just looks like dicks because they just shot down a plane of their own delegates. So I mean,
And then they lied about it, and then they were like, "Well, I guess we did shoot that plane down." Now that you've all caught us, and it's like on the internet, like, yeah, we definitely shot that plane down, guys. But we thought that it was a missile flying incredibly low and slower than any missile that's ever been fired before. But yeah,
whoops,
we did it.
our bad.
Oops. Please don't attack. See, we got protesters. We got protesters.
Oh man, it's
I
hilarious.
was like, yeah,
Hashtag World War III.
let the protesters do their thing first.
But anyways, I think this is a good place to start winding things down. You know,
To end the protesting.
yeah, end the protesting and just say Joker got 11 nods. Let's just let's end on a high note here in the
Joker
fandom.
got 11 nods, and he's laughing at cancer.
Yeah, the normal Zod shenanigans. But anyways, do you want to plug everyone who's been here? Because
I'm supposed to remember everybody that was on the show. And
yeah,
okay, well, like the first person that showed up was Stevie J. So if you're looking for somebody with an Australian accent that does movie reviews and thoroughly loves to shill for Joker and loves the fact that it has 11 nominations, go check out Stevie J Reviews. Who got on after that? After that, it was Perp. So, oh man, if you like a purple man talking about anime and just about everything that trips his trigger, negative or positive, go check out Perp at Perp Minded. Or on Twitter, he's at Perp Minded 420. So infer out of that whatever you'd like. And then puff, puff, pass. And then we got Justin Proper. If you'd like to go enjoy a laugh or two, he covers, I don't know, he was covering Mandalorian. I think he did a review for every episode of that, right?
yeah, he did.
He did
Good
that.
old
And
Mando.
then, I don't know, his most favorite video that he's done over the last couple months of mine was his grandparents react to Cecil. So hopefully he'll have another one of those coming out whenever his computer gets fixed again. I think that's the issue he was having tonight, that he doesn't have the computer and the phone was being a pain in the ass. So go check out Justin Proper for somebody who is being totally proper most of the time. And then check out Candace at Geeky Candy. She also covers The Mandalorian. And oh gosh, what was the other big thing? She plays Call of Duty. And did she start playing Jedi Fallen Order?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
She's
what she
done.
was streaming last time, I think it was.
Yeah, she definitely, and it's hilarious. I've jumped into some of those live streams. Like she'll be like uh cursing and just like having a good time. Yeah, explaining what she's doing and things like that. It was definitely very, very funny stuff. She's also given some great like in-depth coverage of different things with DC and Marvel, and really getting into PB's favorite thing, source material. And yeah, she's got a
Yes,
good head on her
source
shoulders.
material.
So yeah, definitely go and
And
check her out.
am I forgetting anybody?
No, we just got the last person, some person who keeps this fucker in line.
Oh, myself?
Yes, sir.
I'm still here though. So, yeah. I mean, if if you want to enjoy a laugh, you can go to Pop Culture PB. Click on one of my videos. I'm usually talking about Marvel or Star Wars, but sometimes I like to go on a football rant, or just a fun rant for fun. You know, whatever trips my trigger here and there. And then I also do High Council highlights, which I'll have another one of those coming out soon. There was an episode of the High Council earlier tonight, which I have to go back and watch so that I can pull some highlights from that. It had on Jeff and Retro Blasting and Cecil. So I'm sure it was hilarious. I listened to about half an hour of it, but I wasn't able to pull any highlights of it yet. So look for some more highlights. And then I got to put out my reaction from the Black Widow trailer that I recorded earlier before we started the live stream, because you told me to watch both of the trailers and then you started with the one that I didn't watch, which is typical of a villain. So go ahead and plug yourself, villain.
And of course, you've been here in the Fandom Zone. If you guys didn't know, I dropped literally before the stream started my review on Underwater. Go check that out, and definitely go check out that movie. Yes, Underwater. It was awesome. I loved it. It made Bitchy very nervous because she gets anxiety over like close spaces, and the movie is literally giant, like tight quarters. So she's sitting there pissy because I dragged her to this movie. But don't worry, folks. I got another review of the movie she dragged me to, which was like
Underwater. Is that the one with who's the main actor or actress?
Kristen Stewart.
Okay, it is that one. Okay.
Yes.
I saw the trailer for it, or one of the commercials for it. I don't remember which.
Yes, and this was just, to me, Disney marketing again. They didn't give a shit about putting out anything that wasn't a reboot.
Don't spoil the review.
Franchise. Yes, and I go into all of this in my review. So go check it out because it is awesome. I got 2 reviews dropping. I got Like a Boss or Like Trash. You can guess where I'm going to write that bullshit. And I've got
Like
1917. So, I know I'm late with my 1917 review, but sometimes in life,
yeah, it was like
review later.
103 years late.
So I'm gonna have that dropping. Also, The Gentleman come out, and I am super fucking excited because Guy Pearce is behind the camera. If you don't know who he is, he's a pretty talented actor, and he also is
Pierces
really good.
Things.
Yes, he made the movie Snitch. I love that movie. So I am.
You're from New York and you love a snitch?
No, I like what the movie centers around. But anyways, go definitely check out the channel. We're gonna have more. Yeah, it's a misnomer. But anyways, thank you everybody for showing up. We appreciate you. You're all breathtaking. And
hey, you can't be stealing lines here.
I'm a villain. That's what I do. Anyways, you have been with the most groundbreaking, earth-shaking, but never media show money taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today, the one, the only General Zod. And you guys all know the rule. Kneel before Zod.
Never, villain.